has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at kaisergolfcenter.com.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like uh-oh than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions with crazy side effects, just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend works in just 15 minutes, and it's stronger than the competition. Use discount code ESPN50 for 50% off your first order. Don't wait. Visit HEXISMD.com.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
You know, it's one thing if there's a loophole, if there's something that's being exploited and that it needs to be adjusted and only one team can really take advantage of it. That is something that is worth an investigation, a conversation whether it should be or should not be banned. The tush push, I don't think, falls into that category, as the Packers have submitted a formal proposal, and it was an unnamed team at first, and it turned into the Packers, to ban the famous Eagles late game short yardage situation play, the tush push, which is basically a glorified quarterback sneak with 2 very large human beings pushing the quarterback behind him and just rolling forward for 2 to 3 yards consistently. The Eagles have mastered it. No other team has, and now the Packers want it gone. And they're going to need 24 votes over at league meetings later in the month to see if this is going to pass. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo across from me, Christian Catt. With us, as always, we're on your radio dial at ESPN 106.3. We're also streaming live on YouTube at ESPN West Palm on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. You can watch us, see our pretty faces. Then next 2 hours, we are with you. Packed program today. We got Steve Politziner coming up second hour. We got the former executive vice president of football operations for the Dolphins, former general manager for the Jets, NFL insider Mike Tannenbaum joining at 4:40. A lot of fun to be had today, so stick around with us as we got a packed 2-hour program ahead. Tush push, banned or no banned, Mike?
Keep it. Stop it. Figure out a way to not make it so dominant.
If it's not unstoppable, though, is that why it's being considered? It's unstoppable.
Figure out a way to stop it, man. I understand that.
Well, no team has.
Listen. I understand that it might seem like a unfair thing that the Eagles have going on here. I thought that when Jason Kelce retired, that maybe the tush push wouldn't be as dominant. Turns out that Jalen Hurts and that new front offensive line that just won a Super Bowl perfected it. Colin, I have no problem with this being an unstoppable thing. I understand that that no teams have ever had the chance to figure it out. But if it's so dominant, why isn't everyone else doing it, Colin? If you need to get rid of it, shouldn't everybody in the league be taking advantage of this exploit?
That's where I think that's where you begin to have those conversations. If it's almost an unstoppable play around the league.
It's not. I don't think it's abusing exploits, as us gamers call it, because Josh Allen, if that were the case, the Buffalo Bills might have been playing for a Super Bowl. Josh Allen would have got a couple of first downs, and maybe the game was over. If it was so unstoppable, the Bills would have been doing it instead of getting stuffed on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, and etc.
Well, the one thing is, it is unstoppable for the Eagles. It's an unstoppable play. I don't know if
But isn't that like not their problem, right? I
agree. I agree with the fact that it shouldn't be banned, but I see the point. I think there's two ways that people are bringing it up. Number one, it's almost the unstoppable force. And number two, it's a play that can be associated or has ties to injury risk that coaches are worried about, whether defensively or offensively as well. So there's two sides to that. But, I mean, the NFL had conversations about the tush push back when they banned the hip drop tackle, and they kind of shooed the tush push aside. Now it's going to be brought up again, and I could see it. They need 24 votes. They're not going to get the Eagles. So outside of the 6-7 teams that they need to say, don't ban it. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to have a chance to do this, weirdly enough.
To get rid of it.
You know what's funny is the Eagles finally win. They've been doing this for years. They did this last year. They did this the year before. Ever since Jalen Hurts has been there and Sirianni has been there, they have done the tush push consistently, and it has always been the unstoppable play for them. But now that they've won, now we need to adjust.
Because since they've won, it's a competitive advantage and an exploit. I go back to the genius that it is. I'm assuming Nick Sirianni. Colin, I'm going to give Sirianni some flowers here. The genius of Sirianni for figuring out a play to go to on third and fourth situations. I'll be upset. I'm not going to lie. I'll be upset if this
now,
gets...
is football meant to be competitive in a sense, though? If it's one team that's found, not an exploit, they're not bending the rules, but they found a play that is advantageous and they just crack the code. And the way I'm fighting back here is if one team can do it and only one team can do it, evidently, then why should it be a thing in the league if only one team can do it effectively?
So meaning get rid of it because only one team can do it and they have an unfair advantage. Do I have it right?
By definition.
Okay. You got to figure out a way. I mean, these defensive coordinators are getting paid millions of dollars to stop this, basically. I understand it's not just them figuring out trying to stop the tush push, Colin. It's game day. It's game planning. I understand defensive coordinator, their jobs, it's deeper than that. But find out a way to stop it. Find out a way to stop it. And I like that you brought up, well, now that they won, everyone's got a problem with it. Absolutely. If it was such a problem, I go back to what I said earlier. If it was such a problem, other teams would be doing it and other teams would be achieving it. Now, the Bills...
Well, that might be the thing. The other teams can't do it.
How about this? I read this on ESPN.com. Everyone, this is Tim McManus. He wrote the Eagles and Bills have scored a touchdown or achieved a first down on 87% of their attempts using the quote-unquote tush push, while the rest of the NFL has been successful on just 71%, according to ESPN research. I think it has a lot to do with the quarterbacks. Josh Allen, bulkier dude, physical guy. Jalen Hurts, bulkier dude, physical guy. And an offensive line that has the tenacity to move the guys up front. These are two of the best offensive, which we agree that the Bills and the Eagles have two of the best offensive lines in the league. I just think it comes down to personnel and wanting it more than the person that is opposite of you. I think it would be soft. I think it would be absolutely soft to get rid of this play. I hear you when you push back with the unfair advantage, but isn't that why we play? You play to win the game. If something is working, you're going to keep going back to it until someone can stop it. Isn't there something to be said? Stop it. If you hate it so much, figure out a way to stop it.
Yeah, same thing can be said when the deep ball became prolific with the West Coast offense and everything like that, and when they start throwing it down the field and they can't stop it, why didn't we ban the deep ball?
In the shotgun formation. I'm going to go even farther back.
Why don't we ban the quarterback run when Michael Vick started killing teams with it, when Lamar started killing teams with it? Well, it's unfair. He's faster than everybody else. Well, yeah, he's faster than everybody else. Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen are bigger than everybody else. They're willing to put their bodies on the line more than every other quarterback. You're worried about the injuries, don't do it with your quarterback. You don't think if it's a defensive injury problem with the offensive line diving forward, then find a new route. Mm-hmm. They're not committing penalties. It's not shot blocking. They're just using their bodies and their force to shove it forward. What difference is that on a running play when a running back gets stood up at the line of scrimmage and a tight end is able to kind of muster up behind him and push him to get a few extra yards? What difference is that?
Right.
That's in the heat of the moment. It's not a scripted play, but that's football. Now there's rules in place too where they've banned, the offensive line dragging the player upfield from in front. So they've done stuff like this before. But the fact that this is not blatantly breaking any specific rule in terms of how football is played, and the fact that it's more of an inability or unwillingness to run the actual play if you're other teams, And the Eagles are willing, and the Eagles are successful with it. And to your point about personnel, they have a better offensive line than you, and they're going to use it. At a certain point, what are you going to? You're going to put one hand behind their back? Mm-hmm. How is that fair?
Is this soft by the Packers and other teams that might want to get rid of this? I think it's soft.
Yeah, and Brian Gutekunst spoke with media. He's at the Combine this week, the NFL Combine, and the way he referred to it as, he's like, yeah, I'm aware of it. I'm aware. We'll see what happens. I'm aware. Sort of downplayed the proposal because I'm sure he didn't want the Packers to be the one that come out to. He's like, yeah, we're not able to stop it. You're not able to stop it. Doesn't mean it should be outlawed.
Still sour grapes from week 1 in Brazil.
It's weird, too, because the Packers stopped the tush push in that playoff game. They did before half. And if there's a team that's been successful in doing it, Green Bay's a select few, and they still want to ban it? I agree. It's a little soft. It's soft
and sour grapes. It's like, oh, we can't stop this, so we're going to cry to the league office and the commissioner to abolish it.
Sirianni, thankfully all these guys are available because of the Combine.
Right.
But Sirianni went to the media and says, I'm a little insulted by this. With the amount of work that we put in to perfect this play, to make sure, and the personnel that we adjust to make sure that this play is possible. Now I'm sitting here and thinking that, all right, now I got to change everything because you guys are having a tough time stopping it. I agree with him.
You know what, Colin? While we're at it, let's get rid of play action and some misdirection and motion behind the line. Let's get rid of everything that gives the team an advantage. Let's make the game under center and hand the ball off to the running back every play like how it was for 50 years.
Well, when Derrick Henry goes downfield and he breaks 11 tackles and he's just an absolute beast of a human, or Rob Gronkowski or something like that, let's ban those guys. Yep. They're too much bigger than everybody else. It's an unfair advantage. Well, that's kind of the point. You utilize that. It's a mismatch. That tush push is a mismatch. It's not a bending of the rules. It's a mismatch. It's better offensive line, better quarterback, bigger offensive line comparatively to what you have. Is it annoying to play against? Absolutely.
Every 3rd and 1, 4th and 1.
It's a guarantee.
87%, I read, according to Tim McManus.
It's a guarantee. It's nearly a guarantee, that play. But they've been doing it for years, and they've been stopped in the playoffs time and time again. Lost to Tampa Bay.
It's not like this is a team that's won 3 or even 2 Super Bowls in a row.
And it's not like they're winning it because of the tush push.
Exactly.
They're winning it because they had a better team.
They act like they're running this, 4 times a drive on like a 10-play drive. They're running this 4 times for 10 yards. I understand it's a moving of the sticks and a first down, but they're acting like that this is something that's going for an 80-yard touchdown.
888-760-3776, and I'm going to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. 888-760-3776. Tush push. The proposal is in by the Green Bay Packers to ban the play from the Eagles. Are we for it, against it? Is it a little soft to look into banning a football play like the tush push? Or is that tush push, does it not feel like football to you? Let us know. 888-760-3776. Now, it's an annoying play to look at. It's an annoying play to watch. So in a circumstance like that, you're almost thinking, well, nobody likes watching it. Nobody likes dealing with it. Why have it? But to the same token, you're hurting one team that has found, I don't want to say a loophole, but has found an opportunity to utilize their strengths better than the rest. I cannot take it too seriously that all of a sudden the tush push is this major of a problem.
It's an advantage, no doubt, but if it were such a problem,
they'd run it every play.
If
it was such a problem, they would run it every play.
Like,
if they did that all the way down the field, every drive, then we can start to have a conversation.
They're acting like it goes for an 80-yard touchdown 2 times a game. That's not the case here. Does it pick up first downs? Does it move the sticks? Does it give the team an opportunity to go farther downfield? Absolutely, but it's will. It's lining up. It's lining up your biggest guy against our biggest guys, and it's will.
What's the rule going to be? If that's going to get banned, what's the rule going to be with quarterback sneaks? What, the quarterback can go, but nobody can touch him? Nobody can touch him from behind? Is that the rule?
I'm assuming that they're going to do something with the way the linemen dive and go forward and their movement forward.
It's just a lunge forward. So how are you going to run block? If they have to stay upright and go back into pass pro, stay on back foot, that's what they have to do, the offensive line? They can't lunge forward. That's what they do on running plays.
I'm spitballing here. Maybe you can't go to ground.
I would say they're going to take away the guys from behind. That would be the way I
like the running backs and the Goddard.
They have three guys back there.
I'm looking at a picture here. It's Barkley, Goddard, and then
they have 3 guys behind them. Yeah. So it's just a bulldozer. of a play. Now they're going to ban that. So the quarterback sneak's all good. Fair game. If there's nobody shoving from behind, well, how are you going to determine that? How are you going to differentiate that from when running backs do that? Mm-hmm. And there's guys pushing from behind in a running play, heat of the moment.
Like, say, Colin, a running back busts a 20-yard run.
Not even that. Or if they can hit the line of scrimmage, it's an 8-yard run, and then the linebacker stands him up, and there's a bit of a driving of the feet on either end.
Right.
How is that not the somewhat similar of a football move? When offensive line come up from behind and start to push these guys forward. Not drag, but push.
It's so soft. It's sour grapes and just absolute softness at its finest. And listen, I know some old school football fans out there that say the league's soft, the quarterback hits and whatever, you can't make the tackles. I disagree with that because concussions are a real thing. And I know that people are probably getting hurt, Colin. Like, players get hurt from this play. I'm not trying to sit here and say I have the data on that, but it's not like this is a head-to-head collision like the hard hits.
That's when Chris Jones had a neck injury in the Super Bowl off of the tush push, and whether he was that hurt or not remains to be seen. But I know that was a whole big deal during the Super Bowl when Chris Jones went to the sideline and he started doing the neck exercises because apparently he got hurt against the tush push.
Okay.
So whether they think that them diving straight ahead at the helmets of the players or at the legs of the players, whatever it may be, if there's a bit of a change that they have to do in terms of structure or in terms of how they do it, or they add a penalty in that sense, maybe. But to ban the play entirely or to create all these rules for it, I think you have to really tread lightly if you're going to adjust that. Because you found a team that is never going to have a great offensive line forever. If they had a bad offensive line, they wouldn't be able to run this play. That's what the Eagles are. They have an excellent offensive line, and they have a big quarterback. If they didn't have that, they wouldn't be able to do this.
Are you surprised the Packers did this?
Yeah,
I kind of am, to be honest.
The Packers are sitting there post-game thinking, if they didn't have the tush push, we would have had a chance.
I'm a little surprised.
You guys had Jordan Love threw 3 picks. He was terrible in the game. You couldn't move the ball offensively.
So I was about to say, maybe find ways to improve quarterback play and maybe get some wide receivers in the book. They've had a hell of a last couple of weeks. First, the running backs complaining at Kingdom Come about the receivers, and now this. Come on.
Hold on. You just complained about the receivers too. So why is the running back wrong?
No, I'm just saying it's a bad look all around for your starting star running back to say our receivers stink and we need to get new ones. Then now they're trying to.
It wasn't we need to get new ones. We need to add to the room.
Well, they need a number 1, Colin.
Yes, they
don't have a.
And he didn't say you need to get new ones. He said we need to add. That's what he said.
None of you losers in this room are wide receiver 1.
Are they? Are any of them? If you ask them, I don't.
It's just something you don't say, partner. I just don't think it's something you say.
Sure, I understand.
Yeah, and then now Gutekunst is getting sour grapes at the combine, deflecting after he put a request into the league.
Sour grapes, a term of the day from Mike Rizzo.
Yeah, it's all sour grapes, Kyle. He's mad. He's upset.
We take a time out here on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Go get it done. Green. Where high octane meets the high banks. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days. One unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
What's up, Heat fans? This is Jason Jackson from your Miami Heat audio experience. From every earth-shattering dunk, throw it down, to every 3-ball from the land of milk and honey. For 3, splash! And everything in between.
If Skyhook and he called it.
ESPN West Palm has you covered. Make sure you are always locked in with your favorite station to catch every single Heat game with me and the gang. It's time to ball, yo.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Are you one of those people that just can't focus at home? The dog barks, the kids are screaming, and you're thinking, how am I going to get all of this work done? Working from home can be distracting, but Intelligent Office is here to help you focus. They offer quiet and affordable private office and meeting spaces in Palm Beach Gardens to help you get your work done. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to reserve an office today.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
It's the Good Greek Spiro. For the best move ever, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. What's going on? Our show ended hours ago. I'm supposed to be home by now. People are expecting me. Let me out of here. Hey!
Is your air or water flowing perfectly in your home? If the answer is no, EDS is yes. Theo here, and for me, EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing is my go-to, and it should be yours too. EDS is Palm Beach County's trusted AC and plumbing expert. They'll make sure your air and water flow perfectly. EDS is a train comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. Go to edsisyes.com. That's edsisyes.com. When comfort matters, EDS is yes.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Listen, if you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, had an accident of any kind, our pals Anajar and Levine, Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they're the guys to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes, one phone call to take back control of your life today. Don't waste any time. Call for that free consultation. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat with you as always on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Christian Cat, let's zoop you in really quick. Tush push, ban or not to ban?
Selfishly ban it because my favorite team doesn't run the play, so I want it out of the NFL.
Because your team doesn't run it.
Yeah, like there are more teams that do not run the play successfully than the 24 votes required to overturn it.
I think it might pass, if that's what you're asking. I'm not sure whether it's the right thing or not is another question.
Who votes on it?
The league owners.
League owners. Yeah, it's in the league owners' self-interest to have this play removed. So they'll remove it.
That'll be out. It'll be down here in Palm Beach, believe it or not. I believe over at the Breakers, the annual owners meetings.
Nice.
So that'll be March 30th.
Colin, is there any other play similar to this in the NFL that's a competitive advantage?
Well, they banned dunking when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in college at UCLA. They banned dunking. That's a situation. Hey, they did it then. They brought it back in, but that was somebody that only he could do. Everybody could technically do, but he was too dominant with it.
C-Cat, as a Raven fan, and listen, I know he's been in the news for not good light, but like Justin Tucker was automatic. Like, they banned him kicking 58-yard field goals because no one else in the league can do it, but Justin Tucker can do it, so the Ravens aren't allowed to kick 58-yard field goals?
It's a great retort to the argument. I would argue that there are more long-distance field goal kickers in the NFL than there are teams that can execute
for sure
what the Eagles are doing with that play.
I'm just trying to think of other unfair competitive advantages that teams have in the league, and I really can't muster any up, but it's I go back to what we said in that first segment. It's not like this is going for an 80-yard touchdown three times a game, guys. This is picking up a first down and moving the sticks.
But it's a game-altering play.
It is. It's picking
There's
up,
no doubt about that. So that's what you're looking for.
Picking up the sticks and picking up the first down and moving the sticks. But it's a battle of wills, I think. It's the offensive line versus that D-line and that quarterback being able to bulldozer through for the first down. I think it's smash mouth football, and I personally like it.
I don't understand how they're hiding behind the injuries. Like, that feels like such a cop-out.
There has to be something blatant, and there's like a couple, and ticks and tacks. But Patrick Mahomes hurt his knee on a quarterback sneak. Why didn't we ban the quarterback sneak then? Why didn't we do it then? Patrick Mahomes got hurt.
Right.
So why didn't we do it then? But now we have to do this because Chris Jones had a stiff neck after a tush push in the Super Bowl? Really? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I kind of almost like the preventing what happened in the Super Bowl, where jumping over the offense. No, it was the NFC Championship game. I forgot the defensive back who kept on jumping over the line prematurely of the Washington Commanders.
Yeah,
where it was like you get kicked out of your Madden game if you do that.
The Washington guy, yeah,
and they were going to award a
touchdown. That's right.
Are we talking about?
And they changed that rule. As an example, they changed that rule about jumping over the center because a number of teams started taking advantage of it, and then they banned it.
No, Troy Polamalu would jump the line a lot.
Earl Thomas would? Yeah. So
if NFL teams really want this rule changed, what they'll do is kind of have their form of protest, where when the Eagles have X, down, and goal at the 1, just jump over the line every single time. Make it a nuisance for the NFL so they don't want this to happen anymore. That's your kind of way of disobedience.
Or you could just vote for it.
Yeah, that too.
Or
you say banned.
Say, all right, theoretically, hold on here. Theoretically, stay with me on this. The fake tush push.
They did it once. Wait.
The fake tush. Where you line up, you think everyone's going for it, and then all of a sudden you did boom, like a passer.
But
boom.
the problem is
they banned the fake slide.
Boom, a bootleg. Yeah. Who is that? Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
What problem are you solving with a fake tush push?
Well, it's not that I'm solving it. I said stay with me here. This is out there.
I'm still with you.
Yeah, okay. Hanging on.
by a thread. The league, so say that the tush push doesn't get banned, and theoretically, people start jumping over the line or whatever, and then you do a fake tush push and quickly just give it to someone and pitch it to someone in the backfield. They easily run for a touchdown. That's what's going to happen.
Well, the Eagles ran it once, like a counter on the tush push where they ran outside after that.
They get blown up.
Which, as if they
did it with Hurts and they got a first down once. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get rid of it. Get rid of the tush push because I don't like that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I would hope they don't do it again by winning. And that tush push helps them win.
The fake slide has direct injury correlation. So if that's one that recently became an issue because quarterbacks were taking advantage of the lenient rules they have on hitting comparatively, and they were taking advantage. Mahomes still takes – I still think you could outlaw some of the things Mahomes does with the dropping at the last second and the whole thing, kind of fishing for a call. Kenny Pickett took advantage of that at the college level. They immediately banned it. They immediately got rid of it. So that's a little bit more correlated to an injury because of whether the defensive player should go after the quarterback or not. And it's almost – there's an obvious advantage because of the position you play. But this is different. This is just straight head-on-head.
I don't know. Was the fake slide really an injury thing? That felt more like a disingenuous taking advantage of the rules.
Because when they're giving themselves up, the defensive player cannot go near them. That's the rule. So they were very ticky-tack, or at least in the past 10 years, based on how hard you could hit the quarterback when he is allotting to give himself up. So these guys will stay up because he's giving himself up to the defense, and then he took advantage.
Yeah, because is the defender supposed to take the quarterback for his word? Where if it looks like he's going to hold up and slide.
That's why they get burned because of it. Because, hey, we can't protect the quarterbacks and then let the quarterbacks take advantage of this rule. That's why they banned it.
That's poor taste. I think that's probably what you were trying to say. The fake slide is poor taste on the quarterback's behalf.
Poor taste. I mean, it's
poor taste.
That's a bend of the rules.
It's poor taste because you pretend like you're going down. Okay, I can't touch you, and then you don't. That's poor sportsmanship as far as I'm concerned. This tush push is a play where you know it's coming, and you're not able to stop it.
Before the tush push, the quarterback sneak was the most successful play in football. Like, someone should have taken advantage of that play or at least used it.
Mahomes getting hurt changed that play a lot, too. A lot of people started moving away from that.
I guess the risk-reward is now a factor.
Well, Mahomes doesn't do it anymore. Right. Mahomes does not do it anymore. They bring in Wentz. So, I mean, based on that's probably what they were more worried about, but Hurts hasn't gotten hurt, and it's almost a different play. It's like a running play.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like a quarterback sneak. Quarterback sneak is probably a little bit more dangerous than what the tush push is.
It is really fascinating when you watch them execute that play, the quarterback sneak, with the shove from behind, the Eagles almost have a second tier of the play where they get stuffed initially, which for many other NFL teams, like we saw, as you alluded to, the Bills get stuffed in the AFC Championship game. But there's always a second level to it where eventually the Eagles get that extra yard after the fact.
And then to Colin's point, he brought it up earlier, of the players behind him. Getting behind him, getting that momentum, pushing forward, Hurts chopping those legs, not stopping. I'm all for it, man. I don't see the problem with this.
Do you like that it exists?
I do.
Do you like that it exists, or you think it's fair that it exists?
You get excited when they come out in the tush-push
I
formation?
do, because it's like
so.
All right, let me get this straight. We're gonna ban. So you already mentioned Kareem, them banning dunking, and you know what? They should have banned Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook, because you can't block it and you can't stop it. Let's ban the skyhook. Let's ban LeBron James's step back mid-range jumper. I mean, I don't
know if the step back mid-range jumper is
sour.
automatic.
It's just so soft, and it's just so sour grapes, because the Packers doing it because they lost him in the regular season and then didn't have playoff success either.
They lost him in the playoffs.
That's right. That's what I mean. No playoff success against them either. It's just a joke.
So the two elements I'm thinking of right now are that one team does it better than everybody else, but the other aspect is that it's not a good play to watch. Like in the NBA, it's not fun to watch someone go to the free throw line and shoot three free throws. That's why they changed the rules of James Harden.
True. But they're probably going to change it again for
if it was such. I still go back to, if it was such an exploit, every single team in the league would find a way to do this. And if you had 5, 6, 7 teams taking advantage of this every time, then yeah, maybe we need to have a conversation. It's really just, in my opinion, it's one team. Apparently the Buffalo Bills are getting thrown into this situation. How'd that go against Kansas City? I know that, in my opinion, Josh Allen picked up a first down on that third down, but he certainly...
There's a fourth down.
I know, but I'm alluding to the third down where I thought that he picked up as well. It probably shouldn't have came back to that. But at the same time, the referees called it a non-first down. So how'd that work out for them? I don't know, boys. I just think it was really just a soft thing to do by the Packers and even people that vote yes for this in the league.
888-760-3776, the number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo. Terry Fontenot, the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons. Everybody's available for media availability this week. And he said something interesting about Kirk Cousins' situation. Kirk Cousins is somebody who was on the books for basically a fully guaranteed contract for the next 3 years, $65 million in dead money if they wanted to get rid of him, so that is not an option. And he said straight up, hey, Michael Penix is our starter, but we're going to keep Cousins around as a backup. And another thing he alluded to that was made available now is that Kirk Cousins was actually hurt, allegedly, a right shoulder injury in that Saints game in Week 10, and he never was the same. And he was on the injury report for the half of the first week. And then Cousins is pretty much an Iron Man. He's always available, but he's always banged up. And whether that's supposed to shed light on the fact on his poor play or whatever it may be, the general manager made it clear that he did not know this. And, hey, when he's on the injury report, we knew about an injury. When he's not, we don't know about it. So that was his sort of pushback that, hey, we didn't really know that Cousins was dealing with something. And I always hate when this comes up after the fact.
Me too.
Because these players, whether players or are trying to tough it up, if you're playing, you're not hurt. If you're hurt, don't play. That's the bottom line. And so if you want to playing 50% and then not telling anybody about it, you can play 50% and people know about it, and you're just toughing it out. And we'll commend you for that. Matthew Stafford separating your shoulder, the whole thing. We'll commend you for that. But not saying anything, playing poorly, and then using that maybe as like a fallacy or
an excuse.
It is. It's excusatory. So off of that, I don't know how I feel about that. But the one thing that came out of that that's interesting is the Falcons are keeping him.
Yeah,
the Falcons are going to. They're sticking with this.
You mentioned me the no trade clause.
He has no trade clause. So he'd have to approve of any trade that they were to make if they were able to trade him, but they'd still have to eat up a ton of cap in that case anyway.
Correct, and it's an expensive backup. I think it's embarrassing more than anything to not know of a player's injury. I know if the player doesn't say anything, how the hell do you know? But I think a lot of this situation is embarrassing. The fact that Cousins played really, really bad at the end of the year. I thought that Falcons would make the playoffs towards the end of the year.
But he played better towards in the earlier part of the year. Beat the Eagles. So they took the Chiefs down to the wire. If Cousins was healthy then, and I'm not saying I'm just devil's advocate.
Right.
If he got hurt and then they stunk in the last 6 weeks of the year, where the game when he didn't throw a touchdown for 5 weeks, and he might have been hurt for it. Now we're supposed to say it's embarrassing?
It was an underwhelming year for Cousins. And
he did. It was, but they were winning games. They were 6-3.
Yeah. And 18 touchdowns. The part you couldn't live with were the turnovers, the 16 interceptions and the fumbles. But 3,500 passing yards, I mean, Kirk is always going to be floating around. You throw the ball so much in a Kirk Cousins offense, he's always going to be floating around with 4,000 yards. But at this point, like, you got to embrace Michael Penix. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, you play Penix. In a sense,
is it a problem for you that they're going to stick with him?
It's not. I know you just got done saying the embarrassment thing might be a little bit of a cop-out. I just think it's embarrassing. You're paying a guy that much money that was supposed to come in, quarterback the team for the duration of his contract, and then have Penix come in for this to just hit the wall at the end of the year and have everything get thrown under the table and blow up. That's where I think it's embarrassing. That's where I think it's kind of an inept of management. But if I'm going to play devil's advocate with myself, I think a lot of people would give Cousins that money in the offseason with that
great agent.
Play.
He's got
a great agent
his whole career.
But even beyond the agent stuff, Colin, Cousins played really well for the Vikings outside of playoff games. And I know it's a big outside, but I think a lot of teams, let's put Cousins, there are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks this year. If Cousins came off of the year he had 2 years ago heading into this quarterback free agency,
he'd be the number one quarterback in the free agent class.
Totally agree.
So at a certain point, you can't blame too much for them giving the contract because they had no answers. That was the Desmond Ritters of the bunch.
But that's why you get Penix, right? Like now the Falcons kind of look like geniuses because, all right, you sign Cousins to the contract.
That's why it's almost a good thing. Instead of being buried with him, they have a backup option.
Right. And trust me, including myself, at the time, I did not understand the whole Michael Penix thing. I kind of lit up the Falcons. What was that? Almost 2 years or a year ago now when they drafted Penix. But who knows? Maybe it's going to work out for the best. Maybe I'll be the one eating the crow.
Well, that's why they do this, because if Cousins didn't work out, you give him the contract, but you got a guy in a rookie contract right behind him. Yeah, it might hurt you a little bit in the cap space department, but would you rather have a quarterback that you're confident in starting week after week and you're confident in his growth, or would you rather be stuck with a disgruntled, older, aging, banged-up veteran?
It's a talented team, too. I mean, Bijan Robinson's a good running back. Drake London's a good receiver.
Poorly coached team, but, I mean, I can't blame them. They had a backup. They had a
contingency plan.
They did. They had a contingency plan. They had a pure backup that was ready. And whether he's ready or not is another question. And, you're going to burn some money here, but that's why you draft him. So you're ready for this situation instead of being the team that is stuck in a terrible contract.
And if Penix doesn't play well, you go to Cousins. I know it's like you don't want to do that. You don't want to be maneuvering and switching quarterbacks.
No.
You want to stick with a guy, Colin. But God forbid Penix kind of has a year like Bryce Young or something. You got someone to go to maybe that could win you some football games.
If it's a confidence thing, absolutely. If you have plans to go back to him, who knows? Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. We'll loop in the expert, the ESPN NFL insider, Mike Tannenbaum, coming up next. Stick around for it. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Welcome to Recycle Right Trivia, sponsored by the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County. Question 1. What belongs in the yellow recycling bin?
Newspapers, cereal boxes, magazines?
Correct! Now, blue bin, what goes in there?
Plastic bottles, aluminum cans, glass jars?
You nailed it! Remember, Palm Beach County. Recycle right and stay in the game for our planet.
We are proud of our parents. Want to know why? Because they work for the school district of Palm Beach County. There's lots of great jobs with paid vacation, holidays off, healthcare, and retirement. You can be in the same schedule as your kids. Come work at the school district of Palm Beach County. You'll see why it's your best choice.
Join us at the Team Palm Beach Schools Job Fair. Register at palmbeachschools.org/job fair. That's palmbeachschools.org/job fair.
Attention, South Florida! The PGA Tour champions and the Pro Football Hall of Fame are teaming up for a one-of-a-kind event, the James Hardy Pro Football Hall of Fame Invitational. From March 31st to April 6th, the action takes over the old course at Broken Sound in Boca Raton, featuring Hall of Fame legends like Warren Sapp, Calvin Johnson, Andre Reed, Rondé Barber, Chris Carter, and more. Tickets are on sale now at jameshardyinvitational.com. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the home of legends.
F45 Training West Palm Beach offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. Sign up for F45 today and visit their West Palm Beach location. Featuring high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven, F45 always has the right workout for you. Not to mention, it takes just 45 minutes. Visit F45training.com today to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 Training family. F45, team training, life-changing.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Will the tush push be banned? It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. With us, as always, from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, February the 25th, 2025. Welcoming in a friend of the program. He is the former Executive Vice President of Football Operations for the Dolphins. He is the former General Manager of the New York Jets. He is Mr. Mike Tannenbaum, the ESPN NFL Insider. Mr. Tannenbaum, good to hear from you. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Lovely. Appreciate you coming on, carving out a few minutes with us. Let's start with I alluded to a little bit earlier. Packers, submitted a formal complaint, a formal proposal to see if they could ban the tush push, the Eagles' short yardage play that seemingly is unstoppable. Brian Gutekunst touched on it a little bit, wishy-washy. Mike Tannenbaum, being the former front office guy yourself, somebody who's involved in these meetings and talking about stuff like this, what is your reaction to whether this is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do?
Yeah, this day and age, guys, they're going to default to player health and safety. And if there's enough data, like if we went back a year ago and they looked at, like, for example, the hip drop tackle, that's how that was banned. So this is all going to be about player health and safety. And if there's enough data, that will carry the day. That's what this will come down to. So I think, more to come, and let's see how it plays out in the next couple of weeks.
Mike, I'm all for player health and safety. And I think a lot of this has to do with Chris Jones getting hurt on such a big stage in the Super Bowl. In my personal opinion, I think this is really soft. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably like a little bit of a different era, right? Just, hey, it's football, line up and play. But, we're certainly like now much more in a data-driven world, a lot more eyeballs on player health and safety. So, I think more to come, guys. Let's see how this thing plays out, and let's see what the data says.
So, Mike, not so much it's unstoppable, it's an unfair advantage, but the safety portion, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's going to come. That's what's going to carry the day. If this gets any traction, it's going to be because, hey, this is, too many people are getting hurt, and that's what will be the threshold. I mean, that'll be the lens through what the decision's made.
Interesting. Mike Tannenbaum joining us on Russo and Rizzo. Mike, since everybody's available this week for Combine Week, all the general managers, all media availability, the whole thing, Kirk Cousins apparently had an injury towards the latter part of the year with the Falcons, and their general manager went to the media and said he's going to be our backup. He is going to stick there as our backup despite that large contract. We're not making any active moves to shift on from him, to move on from him in any sense. Michael Penix is still our starter. But a tricky situation if you're the Falcons. In your eyes, as somebody who has been in the front office, negotiated contracts like this, It's a tricky spot with Cousins. How would you handle the way the Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix scenario is playing out?
Yeah, I think what he's saying there is like, we're going to try to trade Kirk Cousins. We don't want to just give him away. That's really what he's saying. His audience is the 31 other GMs, and all the 31 other GMs think like, okay, well, we're going to, cut him and he'll be available. And I think what he's trying to do is, to the extent he can, is hold out for a draft.
Can you see somebody making a move for Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's enough teams. The big one, like for the Cleveland, right? Like, a lot of success with Stefanski in Minnesota. Cleveland's in a win now mode, and yeah, when you start, connecting dots this time of year, when you look at Kirk Cousins and go back to Russell Wilson a year ago, and they're gonna have to eat a lot of money in Atlanta. Cleveland's dealing with the Deshaun Watson contract. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Mike, do you think Cousins could get back to top form like we saw with the Vikings?
That's a great question. I really don't know. An Achilles, as we know, guys, is a really, really difficult injury, but it's another year, and sometimes, that extra year is, what you need. So you never bet against character. You never bet against somebody that has a lot to prove. So if somebody could do it, I would say, he certainly could be one that could possibly get there.
Mike, looking from the outside, Combine Week is interesting because it almost seems like a county fair. For general managers throughout the NFL, where they can talk to each other, trades, the whole thing, where you're going to do in the draft. Being somebody who has been in those positions, what is Combine Week? Break it down for me as a general manager of a football team. What things are you looking for, not only in the players, but with the other teams as well?
Yeah, every free agent you have in the history of mankind has overwhelming interest. The agents will always tell you how coveted, the one player on your team is, right? So you're dealing with agents who are, weeks away from free agency. So that's sort of like the lion's share of the discussions. That's sort of like where it starts. And then from there, you're dealing with, other teams, the media, and then obviously watching the players start to work out towards the end of the week.
Mike, what's the biggest storyline this year with the Combine?
I think it's the juxtaposition, guys, of the quarterbacks, and how does it play out with Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward, going right back to what we just talked about, right? With how does that work with fill in the blank, Kirk Cousins or Jameis Winston or Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford. They're fascinating storylines to see how this all plays out in the coming weeks, and I think how teams feel about Ward and Shedeur are going to impact. How aggressive they may be for, Kirk Cousins or, another veteran.
You brought up Stafford. We talked a lot about that yesterday, Mike, on how he's getting permission to talk to teams. What's your best guess there? What do you think happens with Stafford and the Rams?
Yeah, guys, like for me, I don't get it, right? Like they had a good season. They have a lot of good young defensive players. Why wouldn't you just keep them? I don't know if I'm the Rams why I'm in a rush to let Matt Stafford leave.
Right, absolutely, because they had that young defense where they had two guys in the defensive rookie of the year, and Stafford was maybe good weather away from really taking the Eagles down. He was the only one who really came close in that postseason to taking them down. I have a hard time seeing them dominate Darnold in the postseason and thinking that we should shift on from 1 and go to 2. Now, on the sense of if you're the Rams and there's an offer that you cannot refuse being thrown out there by another team, it sounds like they're going to exercise the possibility. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I think they are. But again, then the next question is, if we're running the Rams, who's our quarterback? I don't know.
If they go get Rodgers, what about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you guys have seen those players play the last couple of years. Who would you rather have? Matt Stafford? What are we talking about here? Like Aaron Rodgers is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I don't know.
So you're not sold on that? No.
How they play. Are you?
So
I could see if they're offered a first-round pick, a good pick at that for a team that's desperate to get a quarterback. I think the Giants come to mind quickly. I mean, Stafford, you're paying him probably a little less. I agree. You're taking almost a step back, but the Rams are one of those peculiar sets of teams that get to operate in blocks of time because of their structure, infrastructure, their stability, good general manager, good coach. The whole thing, I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world to consider. Do I think it's the right move? Probably not. But I could totally see them endorsing something like that if they're able to stockpile picks or a high-level asset or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Like, when you just put their bodies of work next to each other, guys, I think that's a pretty easy decision. And before I let somebody walk out the door in Matt Stafford, I got to feel really, really good that I'm getting a frontline winning quarterback because, look, we could quibble as Stafford top 6, top 8, top 15, but he's still a good player.
Mike, this Stafford and Rams business has been something going on for about a month now. I mean, is it a money thing? Where's this coming from?
Yeah, I think that's right. Typically, when there's noise like this, it's about money. Because
is it years, Mike? Is it years? Is it guaranteed money he wants?
It's guaranteed money.
I would think so. Look, it's probably $50 million a year, 2 years, $100 million. I would think that would get it done. If I'm the Rams, I'm going to do that. That gives me 3 more drafts to try to replace them. That's something I'm looking at.
Mike Tannenbaum joining the program on Russo and Rizzo. Mike, one thing we talked about last week, too, was the prospect of expansion and how basically every single league, the NBA, the MLB, the NFL, college football, college basketball, even floating it around, expanding playoff formats, making more teams involved, getting more teams involved. Is this something that you, as somebody who's involved in the NFL specifically, I think the NFL expansion has worked, but just generally in sports, is there a level of stoppage, even with college football? Is there a wall that they're inevitably going to hit with this expansion, especially of the playoff formats that maybe hurt the regular season or so on and so forth?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. That's why I love the NFL because it's 17 games. They all matter. They all matter. I think that's one of the reasons their ratings are so good. And you look at the NBA with load management. And
2/3 of the league gets into the postseason as well. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's why you want to make the regular season matter, and I think that's where the NFL is thriving.
What about college football? If they expand to 16, get more teams involved there, is that going to be a step backward or a step forward for that format?
I think the thing that could help their guys is, like, hopefully we're going to see more meaningful regular season games because, if a Michigan goes on the road and plays Texas early on and they lose, they're still alive. So hopefully for that sport, it's not like one and done the way it used to be.
Mike, do you have a college football allegiance? Do you root for a team?
North Carolina?
Do you Belichick guy now?
Yeah. I think that's probably about right. I think I'm a Tar Heel.
Yeah, you're now a Tar here because it's come out that your son, who's a long snapper, is going to be playing for Bill Belichick at University of North Carolina. Mike, give us a read on that.
Yeah, very fortunate, guys. Michelle and I are thrilled, and our son had some options, which we were incredibly fortunate, and he's going to go play for Coach Belichick. So we're thrilled and excited, and I guess we're Tar Heels.
That's got to be a no-brainer. If you're a college, especially somebody from your perspective, Mike, with how great Belichick is, you're sitting there, you're like, this is a no-brainer. I mean, you want to get better at football. You want to put yourself in a position to have the best career possible. I mean, Bill Belichick's sitting right there in North Carolina for a great school, great academic institution, and a team that's trending upward. It's got to be like this is lightning in a bottle, right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's also about life and all the life lessons that you can learn from somebody like Coach Belichick, who's an all-timer, and we're very fortunate, and I think he's going to turn that program around. And Coach Belichick has only known success, and I don't expect that to stop anytime soon.
Combine week, Mike. You've been there a number of times. Give me your best meal you had in Indianapolis.
Oh, it's easy. St. Elmo's. You got to get the.
Everybody says St. Elmo's. Everybody says St. Elmo's.
Now, Mike. All right, I knew that was coming. Mike, hang on, Mike. Mike, I knew that was coming. You got to give me the dish, though. You got to give me the dish.
Yeah, I'm going to go filet with shrimp cocktail and a baked potato. Can't go wrong.
Mike, I'm hungry. How many ounces?
We'll go 16.
Okay, perfect. Oh yeah.
So Mike got his Mike. Yeah, all right, fair enough. It's always St. Elmo's with Indianapolis. But, Mike, we appreciate you giving us the time here on a Tuesday. Looking forward to speaking again soon. Congratulations to your son, by the way, on committing to the University of North Carolina for football. We look forward to speaking again soon.
Mike, thank you.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. Mike Tannenbaum, the ESPN NFL insider, joining us on Russo and Rizzo. We'll take a time out here, loop Christian Cat into the conversation, do a little 5 at 5 coming up next. Stick around for it. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
It's Truck Month with the Ford crew.
Sam, do you know what these trucks have in common?
They're all Ford trucks. And they're built Ford tough.
Also true, but specifically they're Ford F-Series trucks, the best-selling trucks in America for 48 years.
48 years? We should celebrate a month-long event.
Sam.
A truckload of value.
Sam.
Across the entire lineup of Ford trucks.
Sam.
That's called Truck Month already, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I knew it.
Based on 1977 to 2024 CY Industry reported total sales.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
This is ESPN 106.3's Mike Rizzo. Recently, I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Michael Stark, a spine surgeon in the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. When it comes to spine injuries, Dr. Stark says there can be a misconception.
It's broad. Everyone thinks back would just be pain, but that's not always the case. In the spine is all your nerves, your spinal cord and your nerves that come out into the lumbar spine. Problems that you can see with those aren't just pain necessarily. Those are the more obvious, but you can see numbness. Patients can come in without pain, but they may have weakness in their leg or in their arm, and that may be from a pinched nerve that's higher up in the spine somewhere. So those are usually more alarm type symptoms where I would say you need to get evaluated, but it could also be something simple like a muscle strain or pull where it would end up with back pain or tightness that could result in symptoms prompting care.
That's Dr. Michael Stark with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
What's up, Heat fans? This is Jason Jackson from your Miami Heat audio experience. From every earth-shattering dunk, throw it down, to every 3-ball from the land of milk and honey. For 3, splash! And everything in between.
It's Skyhook and he called it.
ESPN West Palm has you covered. Make sure you are always locked in with your favorite station to catch every single Heat game with me and the gang. It's time to ball, yo.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Go get it done. Green. Where high octane meets the high banks. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Hi,
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash. Enjoy unlimited inside and out hand washes for just $49.95 per month, less than the price of 2 washes. You'll get unlimited hand washes with sealer wax, dash, windows and vacuum, tire shined, and hand finished. All unlimited. Not a member? Stop and get a quick wash anytime at great prices. And during January and February, if you join our club, you'll only pay $25 a month for the first 2 months and then $49.95 thereafter. Visit us at unlimitedautowashclub.com or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Second hour of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat with you as always the 25th of February. If you missed any of the program today, want to listen back, just had Mike Tannenbaum on. You listen back to Russo and Rizzo on ESPN, Russo and Rizzo podcasts on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. Or you can watch us live streaming on Twitter, X, Facebook, and YouTube at ESPN West Palm there as well. Christian, how are you today?
Spectacular. Wearing a new shirt that I got for $12.
Is that the shirt that you didn't wash?
No. Actually, I did not wash this.
No, hold on.
Well, there's multiple.
But you had a new shirt last week that you didn't wash before
So
the
I
first
said,
time you wore it.
it's his new
thing.
So this is a second shirt that you bought and did not wash.
So the one that I bought, I didn't wash, that one came from the mail. That's like somewhere in Asia. I forget what exact. Might have been Sri Lanka.
What province?
Yeah. This one probably was made out of the country, but it was purchased in person in Royal Palm.
Nice.
Was it a impulse buy?
No, it was a bargain buy. Sought out the deal, executed, and I'm so proud of it. It's a fishing shirt.
Hold on, did you get it from a Goodwill?
No, I bought it from this place that takes the items that a retail store does not sell, and then they sell them for like a 75% discount.
Is that fish?
It's for fishing, yes.
What's
the pattern is in fish. The pattern is a grill, the American flag,
it's for
Americana.
Fishing. I like that. It's for fishing. All right.
Grill American.
But you didn't
flag.
wash it. This thing has been through a couple of owners now trying to sell the shirt.
No.
And you didn't wash it?
They wouldn't sell me a returned shirt.
How do you know that?
I have no way of proving.
Hang on, Colin. Am I a psychopath for anything I buy immediately into the washer?
Yeah, a hypochondriac.
Okay.
Or a germaphobe.
There's probably somewhere in between the two of you that would be a steady way to.
Colin, there's no in between. It's either you wash the shirt or you don't, partner.
There's nothing better than a freshly printed shirt. That smell, I love that smell. It'll never smell that way
itchy.
again.
Is it itchy? I was going to say, is it not itchy?
No, it'll either smell like me if I wore it and didn't clean it and then wear it again, or it'll smell like my fabric softener.
Colin.
And I'm tired of those smells, man.
Immediately into the washer.
How about socks? You wash your socks before you wear them?
Immediately into the washer.
No.
Underwear, immediately into the washer.
Socks, no.
Really?
Socks
it's
is
different
fair
because
game.
socks and underwear, they're packaged.
Socks, yeah, they're packaged in plastic. Fair game. No problem. Underwear, it's crazy.
That is
You gotta
nuts.
wash.
It's also
That is
packaged.
nuts.
Wash the underwear. Come on.
Nuts,
Come on.
dude.
Have some civility. Come on.
I'm with, dude. You wash
The
everything.
socks, I can listen to the socks. It's on your feet. Who cares? The underwear, let's go. Like, come on. Let's think about this.
It's still on your body. I understand it's your feet, but it's still a part of your body.
Yeah, it's fine. That's not a big deal.
it's not fine.
That's not a big
Throw
deal.
it in the wash.
That's not a big deal. You wash your clothes like how many times
I do laundry. I
every-
do laundry every day.
Smells like plastic. I
Every
like
day.
this shirt.
Laundry every day. People call me a psychopath.
Why? Do you have enough clothes to do
I
laundry?
do, but
once a day?
I like my. I don't know if you've noticed, Kyle. I added a few button downs to the repertoire.
So that means you do
I
have
wear
to
a
do
different-
laundry less.
I wear a different.
It's kind of the idea of having the clothes, right? So you don't have to do laundry every day.
I buy
hear me
more
out on
underwear
this.
and socks, so
All right.
I don't have to do laundry that day.
All right, so this is what happens.
We got to work on you,
All right,
Christian. Go ahead.
I have clothes that I sleep in. I have workout clothes, and I have work clothes, and I have a towel that I use to shower twice a day. All that goes into the wash after the end of the day, and I put my pods in and I hit the button. So it's 3 outfits in there and a towel.
You're what's killing this earth, man. That's a lot of water.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Am I killing the earth?
This is bad.
I mean, it's
Do you not even own like a hamper or something like that, or something that carries the clothes? So you
do.
Have that.
I have a.
You don't use it very
I have
much.
I have a laundry basket that I said you, but yeah,
It's never filled.
I like first move I do when I get, because I told you I took a thing from you. I work out in the mornings. Right when I get home from working out, throw it directly in there and take a shower. When I wake up in the morning, throw my PJs in there, put on my workout outfit, and then when I get home from work, take off my work outfit, put on my pajamas.
And then when do you run the wash?
When I get home from work. So tonight there's two items in there right now. There are my PJs that I slept in last night, my workout clothes
In the washer.
in the washer right now.
So where's the laundry basket?
And then the laundry basket is just sitting
empty.
Empty, correct.
So what's the point of having it?
The point of having it, I guess there is no point of having it, but you want to have one. It's just in case
just in case you miss laundry day.
But you get what I'm saying. Maybe I am a psychopath.
It's part
for
of
this.
your routine.
It is.
Laundry is part of your routine.
110%.
What happens if you go move ever? God forbid, if something would have happened to the laundry machine.
I'm calling immediately, and I'm having
call out from work.
I'm having my service people
wash it, hang it up.
Boys, we could all agree. Now, maybe outside of, I think Christian got a really good deal on his place. I overpay where I live. That's no secret. Everywhere around here is very expensive. Rent's very expensive. I'm calling the service department that I pay an arm and a leg for and going, listen, man, fix my appliance.
Well, let's say that it takes 2-3 days. Are you going to lose your mind?
Yeah, absolutely.
So will you go to a laundromat?
Maybe. I'll probably go next door because I'm buddies with my neighbor. I'll probably just wash there.
I haven't.
Wait, hold on. You go to your neighbor on Tuesday, and then you come back on Wednesday. The neighbor's going to think something's up.
No, well, obviously, Colin, we make exceptions.
You come back for an extra batch of laundry.
We make exceptions, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, when I get home, I immediately shower. I use the towel for the second time that day. I throw that towel in there because I've used it twice already. There's 3 outfits in there. Grab a pod, throw a pod in there, hit the normal wash.
The towel, too?
Yes, dude.
Are you not
kidding
supposed
me?
to wash the towels with your clothes? Am I wrong on that?
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm not smart enough for that.
Wait, hold on. Answer this question. Answer that. I know, Christian, what were you going to say? How long has it been since you've washed your towel?
It's like maybe a twice a month thing.
Oh, my God.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Dude, that thing smells like...
It smells like my clean body. That's what it smells like.
That's not good. I don't know about that. That's not good.
Dude,
You don't have a backup towel?
Yeah, I have a backup towel. It's the towel that I use when the dirty towel, the after 2 weeks towel, goes into the wash.
So you use 2 towels per month.
Colin, how many... sorry, go ahead.
2 towels per month.
I have a
you
backup
use
towel.
one towel for 2 weeks, and then you use the next one for the 2 weeks following, and then you wash it at the end of the month.
No, I have my starter towel. Like that's the A game. That's a towel that
That's
I
first
spend
string.
more
That's
money
first
than I'm
string.
comfortable.
That's first string.
And then there's the backup towel, which was the towel I had in my old apartment.
So when do you use backup towel?
When the first string towel was in the wash.
So,
But it's in the wash once a month.
Yeah.
All right. How many towels do you guys think I have?
You only need one.
I have 7. 1 for each day of the week. And I explained this to you.
This is consumerism. This is
It's 7.
This is how they get you.
I have 7 fresh linen towels. I put them on every time one's
Where
clean.
do you store this?
Under my sink in my bathroom.
You have room for 7 towels underneath the sink?
Dude, it's 3 on one side, 4 on the other, and you fold them nice and you stack them up in adjacent to each other.
We are on like Patrick Bateman, American Psycho.
But what I
watch
say,
with you. This is
what do
crazy.
you mean?
Well, hold on a second. Why do you need 7 towels if you do laundry every day?
Because when I'm done with that, when I'm done with the one that I
Then
use,
hang it up and use it next time. It's clean.
I fold it up and I put it underneath. I grab a clean one from the other side and I put it there for the day. Why is that crazy?
Hold on. Do you understand why it could be looked at as strange to have enough towels to last you a full week, only using once or twice a piece?
Twice a day. I told you. I 2 showers.
You use towel twice
a day.
You use 7 towels throughout the week.
Yes.
But you do laundry every day.
Correct.
How do you not see a problem with that? How do you not see why you don't need 7
you don't
towels?
need to wash your Tuesday
you don't need
towel.
both. You can either not do the laundry and have 7 towels, or you could do the laundry and have 1 towel
I think
and get away with
it's to the point where I've become in such a routine that it's
So
just,
when you went to Bed Bath & Beyond, wherever the hell you went to go get your linens, you bought 7 of them.
Yeah.
Thinking,
well, I get a lot of visitors too.
All right, so that makes sense. You can have
I get a lot of visitors too. So you want to make sure you have enough towels. I brought a lot of I have 3 really nice blankets. I obviously have what's on my bed, my bed sheets and and my down comforter and my pillows.
I understand
but I have
having
extra
extra
pillows,
sheets.
I have extra blankets, I have extra towels. But when, I'm just doing my own thing and no one's visiting, I'm able to have the luxury of having a fresh towel ready to go every single day. And I'm not a fan of reusing towels at all.
See,
I
this
think
is why
it's
you
disgusting.
get sick. This is why you get sick.
I agree. So how do you get sick?
Like, you are sick all the time.
You get sick a
What
lot.
do you mean? I've been sick twice, September and recently.
That's 2 times more than you probably should. You probably get sick once a year. That's probably
and to be honest, that's
good
the
litmus.
that's the. I don't want to say why I think I get sick. I'll tell you guys in the break. But I, nonetheless, 2 times in
HIPAA violation.
2 times in 6 or 7 months. That's crazy for me. Usually it's once a year.
But
I agree.
for Mr. Hygiene, it should be 0 times.
I don't know, man. I can't control my. Maybe
How are you with toothbrushes?
I switch it up once a month. I have, but I
That's
buy
okay.
in bulk. I buy in bulk, so like I have fresh toothbrushes ready to go.
How many toothbrushes do you have in your apartment?
Right now, I'd probably would say I have like 7 or 8, like in a drawer in my bathroom.
I use mine till I lose it.
And that's another thing where,
again, I'll circle back.
And
there's a happy medium somewhere between the two of you that I think the normal person operates
and
at.
that's like another thing where like, you want to make sure you have toothbrushes, enough toothpaste if people come and visit.
I'm not giving up a toothbrush if
use your
somebody comes
finger.
and unless you forget it and you need one. That's one thing, but that's not a donation. Bring your toothbrush. It's not hard to pack
I
up.
get, but if someone forgets, who knows? I don't know. I like being prepared for everything. How
many pillows do you have in your apartment?
I have 4 in my bed, and then I have 4 in my closet with 2 like really big blankets, just in case someone sleeps over, like wants to sleep on the couch. And then out in the living area, I have 2 blankets that you could use for the couch.
Are any of the pillows throw pillows?
Explain a throw pillow.
Are they all functional pillows, or are some of them for the aesthetic of your bed?
So all of them
I
are
think 8
sleep.
pillows is a lot.
All of them are sleep worthy. Well,
Okay.
what I
For
do
one guy, that's a lot.
what-
Don't tell me you rotate them.
No.
Okay.
No, so there's the show pillow to your point. Maybe that's what you're talking about, like what I have like for my comforter and whatever that matches my bedding. I put that pillow underneath and my Tempur-Pedic up top, and I go to bed. I don't use I put one pillow in between my legs because it helps my back when I sleep.
How often do
and
you
I
change?
sleep on my side?
How often do you change your sheets?
I don't change my sheets. I wash my sheets once a month.
Hold on. So now we're calling quits on the washing things once a day.
I'm
at the
clean-
sheets,
but I'm clean-
I think once a month. I
Here's
think you
the
should
thing.
wash
I'm
your
not-
sheets once a week or
once
every
every
2 weeks.
I'm not a night sweater. I'm clean as a whistle every time I get in that bed.
I'm surprised.
I don't
I'm
stink.
surprised.
My bed
Hold on,
doesn't
this is a
stink. I
180.
don't
Mike, this is a
stink.
180. You wash the
Once-
clothes on
once
your
a month.
back the second you walk into
Once a month.
All right.
But it's not like how, like I told you, like if I'm not a stinker. I'm not a stinky kid, and I'm clean as a whistle every time I go to sleep. I shower immediately when I get home, and I watch TV. I play video games. I go to bed. It's not like I'm getting in there after. I'm not going to take a shower today. That's not me.
That's the guy behind the glass.
That ain't me, mate. I promise you, I'm clean as a whistle at all times.
I like to give ESPN West Palm my cleanest self. So mornings are my thing.
Now, one thing
You don't shower in the afternoon?
No, I don't. I don't shower at 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Now, boys, this isn't necessarily a hygiene thing, but one thing I'm really bad at that I got to get better at, I got to start getting my hair cut on a timely manner. I told
so
Colin,
again, this is a problem. I know where this is going. What is a timely manner for a haircut for you?
it should realistically it should be once every 2.5 weeks, but I've gone 3-4 months now without getting a haircut.
Wait,
so the last haircut I got was in November.
I think.
Am I shaggy?
I think once
I'm shaggy as
hold on,
hell right
I
now.
think 2.5 weeks is a lot.
It's my brother.
That's frequent.
It's my brother. My brother is every 2.5 weeks gets a cut. Got to get lined. Got to be lined up. Got to be ready to go.
I also think
Ready to
it's
go.
a difference if, listen, we're all talking about money here, financials. Like, it's kind
Exactly,
of expensive
and
to
that's
do that all.
probably-
At that point,
that's a lot of the reason
you should
maybe
learn to
why
cut
I
your own
haven't.
hair.
No, because I'll bottle it. I come from a family of barbers too. I believe in going to the barber shop, having
giving them your
conversation, and
business?
giving them my business. Correct. Just like my mother is a waitress. I tip 25%.
Dude,
no
a
matter
haircut
what.
is once every 7 weeks endeavor. I feel like that's the safe.
Yeah, I'm around that. I'm 2.5 months, so a little bit more.
7 weeks.
Yeah, November before Thanksgiving. I got my haircut here in West Palm. Great job by my buddy Eddie.
So
I need to go back to Eddie.
2.5 weeks, I think is. I guess you want to. So you want to keep a certain hairstyle then.
I do, and I fail miserably.
You ever gotten a facial massage at a barber shop?
No, but I've gotten.
That's how they get you.
I got a cut and a shave.
You get a $75 haircut after that.
Hang on. Getting a shave by a barber at a barbershop is unreal.
I kind of do it every time. That's why.
Well, you have a beard. You get it groomed, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they kind of just.
Okay.
How often do you change the razor you shave with?
I have.
How many razors are in your bathroom cupboard?
About 15.
One for
what? One for each day?
This is another thing. I use the razor.
You use it straight razor?
Yeah, I use it, and it's like the little ones too. They're the cheap ones.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's
Never
like
mind.
it's like 2 or 3 times, and then I grab a new one. So here's the thing: my uncle P was down here, and we went to BJ's, and I bought a lot of stuff in bulk: toothpaste, mouthwash, razors, shaving cream, deodorant. So like I'm at one of those stages right now where I have a spoil of riches in the apartment of all this stuff right now.
That's what it is.
7 towels.
He got 7 towels, not
God
because he
forbid
needed
a flood
them.
comes into town because Mike's got it covered. Oh my goodness!
But I guess maybe
beach towels in the apartment.
I am a bit of a germaphobe, so like I don't like using a towel more than twice, and I shower twice a day. That's my non-negotiable.
So you have beach towels?
I do. Yeah, I have towels that I take to my pool.
So how many towels do you have of those? How many total towels are in the apartment? I'll do the one for the body, not for the hands.
I have 2 beach towels.
All right, so that's 9.
I have 2 beach towels and 7 regular towels.
That's a lot of towels. That might be too many towels.
Mike, I think if you take a woman back to your place, she might think that your wife or girlfriend is out of town, and she might think that you're being dishonest.
No, where's your family of 5?
Yes.
Right?
So like, boys, I told you I was just like Colin. I had nothing in the apartment, like. Right when
you were a Christian, wash a towel once every 3 months? That was
I would wash my towel, but I didn't have a spoil of riches. I also didn't I had a reclining chair and a bed that wasn't out of I did this when I first moved out on my own 4 years ago in Peoria. So
did you do laundry every day then?
I did, and back then I didn't have the clothes either.
What happened when the power goes out?
I didn't lose power.
If you lose power, what happens if you lose power?
I don't know. These are all crazy. Listen, you're usually the one that's yelling at me about hypotheticals. These are crazy hypotheticals.
Hold on. If the power goes out, what are you going to do? Are you going to get a bucket and fill it up with water, get some soap in there?
Looks like,
hand wash it?
Looks like we're roughing it out, brother.
Wow.
Turning into Christian.
Wow. So Christian hasn't washed his towel since he's moved to Florida.
But dude.
Mike washes his towel every time he looks at it. I got to wash it. It looked at me funny. And then there's a happy medium somewhere between this that I feel like is the right level of hygiene.
I told you what happened in Peoria. I had a date. She wanted to go back to the apartment. She took one look at it and she said, I had a great time. I can't. Mike, what are we going to do in here? And I agreed with her. I was very embarrassed, and and guess what? Since that day,
you went right to the store and you got
never
you got 11 towels, you got 1,600 toothbrushes.
Colin and Christian, it's never happened again. My place is a place to be.
You got like a nuclear silo.
My
That's
place,
where you live.
My place is a place to be.
Do you have stacks of beans in the cans and non-perishables?
That's
just in case we go to nuclear apocalypse.
That was my great grandmother Jamma that I was fortunate enough to meet, who survived the Depression.
Tell you what, Mike, this woman had too much of an impact on your life.
Probably, but at the same time, she got my stuff together. I'll never.
A Christian might need
my
that.
apartment would never. Well, he's got a girlfriend at 10 years. Don't you guys live together?
Yeah.
What does she think about your hygiene?
Oh, she hates it.
So she tells you it's a problem.
Oh yeah.
And you say what?
I say, this is the man you, not married, but this is the man that you've been living with. So there's not much going to change.
So instead of, hey, I could shower one more time a day, or I could do laundry one more time a week, this is who I am. You better make your peace with this.
Do you want to know what's very, and I know we got to get to a break here. You want to know what's very underrated? After a long day of work, and we all work long hours, after a long day of work, you put in a great shift. You worked out.
Get the coal out from under your fingernails.
You worked out. You walk into your apartment, smells like that beautiful candle you lit last night before bed, and it's clean as a whistle.
And
you got the whole night ahead of you. And you got the whole night ahead of you in an awesome apartment that you were very satisfied with. There's something to be said about that.
Yeah, you could do that and not have to do laundry immediately when you walk in the door every day.
Got a regiment.
You got a laundry basket for no reason. The laundry basket needs something to do. We got to talk to Steve Politzino, the Good Karma Brand's president. Coming up next, stick around for it. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
What's the Anajar Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most: getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach. As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
It's the Good Greek Spiro. For the best move ever, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
West Palm Beach is the place for spring training, and Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches has all the action around the Nationals and the Astros. It's time. Enjoy the biggest stars in Major League Baseball. Grab a cold drink and indulge in some amazing ballpark eats. Need a collectible? Be one of the first 2,000 fans on opening day to snag an exclusive Travis Scott bobblehead. Experience big league action up close and personal. Tickets are on sale now at cactipark.com. Don't wait. Secure your spot today and let's play ball.
Is your credit on life support? Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Local bank representatives will be on site to grant special approval to consumers who meet certain minimum criteria. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach wants to approve you so you can drive home your new Kia today. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Hello, is this thing on? I repeat, Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic wants to approve you for a new Kia today. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss the credit clinic today and tomorrow at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or go online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval term.
ESPN 1063 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 1063. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sportsbook. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Kane is in the building.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
February and March are categorized by two things. It's the NCAA tournament, March Madness, but it's also the kickstart of baseball season. Spring training's here in West Palm Beach, and it's just around the corner at Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches. Grab your family, friends, meet up with some people, soak in the sunshine. Green grass is the best weather of the year in South Florida, and Cacti Park is the place to enjoy it. Go watch the Houston Astros, the Washington Nationals, both playing the New York Yankees, the Mets, the Braves. First time ever the Blue Jays are coming into town. I'm going this weekend. Catch the excitement from February 22nd through March 23rd. Season's underway. Tickets are on sale now over at cactipark.com. Don't miss your chance to be part of the action. Secure your seat today. Spring training is so exciting because you can walk around the concourse. You can get some food. They have all the options there. It's local. It's easy, in and out. It's not like going to a normal ballpark where it's almost like an event and you got to set aside time to get in, out, parking, the whole thing. So much easier to go to spring training. You can make a whole fun afternoon out of it with friends, family, and whoever you want to go with over at the Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat. With you as always on ESPN 106.3. No Steve Politziner.
I think
we're on Steve time.
Or he's teaching us a lesson. We were a little late there, Christian. We were a little late there.
He got a phone call at 20:30.
Okay.
The
all right.
schedule
So we
time was
weren't late.
5:20. It was 5:20 and 30 seconds.
So we weren't late.
Great job by
technically.
Steve on his punctuality and staying on time. Thank you for Steve for that. Christian Cat and Mike Rizzo have very questionable hygiene routines. Mike is probably a little over-hygienic, and Christian
No such thing.
probably leaves a little to be desired.
No such thing.
How do you think humanity survived? You know, like the people in the BC times made it, and humanity thrived
you
and
definitely
got
the
us
type
to here.
on an airplane. And
Stinks.
You could see the green stench.
Yeah, he stinks.
Coming from your underarms.
But I'll say this. I told you guys I have a supernatural nose. I've never been like, God, Christian smells like crap today. I'd let you know if you did. I've never done that before.
Would you
Christian. I would.
I don't think I would want you to
wanna,
do that.
You want to know why? Christian, you want to know why I would? You want to know why I would? Because you're a friend. If we weren't friends, I wouldn't say a word.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
He's looking out for you.
Yeah, no, seriously.
But he wouldn't change
Totally.
his ways. No. If he did that, he wouldn't change his
I mean,
ways.
it'd be. I think as a friend, it'd be my due diligence. Hey, man, you kind of smell like crap at work. I would say something.
I do bring deodorant wherever I go.
But like, you know, everyone you work with aren't your friends.
Wow. All right.
Listen,
let's go down the list,
listen,
Mike. Who is it?
Listen. Take
Makes
this.
the cut.
Hang on. Take this for what it is. You know, you guys are my buddies. I consider both of you friends. If any of you guys came in here smelling like crap, I'd let you know.
There is.
Who wouldn't you let know in the office?
Well, you
You
can't
have to come up with one.
First
There's
off,
only one. Hold on. It's just like
all right.
top.
Let me rephrase. Everyone in my office, everyone in the office is my friend. Okay, but you got to be careful on who you do this with. All right, you can't tell a girl she smells like crap. You just can't do it.
Can't do it?
Can't do it.
What if you work
agree?
with her and your friends?
You agree?
What if you work with her and your friends?
Still can't do it.
Okay.
You agree?
I
can't
probably
do
wouldn't
it.
be my first move.
Can't do it.
Right? But you could tell Christian.
Yeah, because we're buddies. He can handle it.
What if you're buddies with a girl? What about that?
Still can't do it.
Okay. So there's rules and regulations. to
Correct.
this.
Correct.
Right. Interesting. And, I mean, would you ever tone it back?
Meaning?
Your hygiene routine.
I mean, it's
washing everything once a day. The 7 towels.
I don't
the
think
1,500 toothbrushes. You gonna tone it back ever?
1,500 toothbrushes. I just told you I change it once a month, and I don't think that's that crazy, partner.
Yeah, but you're like
you're
stocked like a bunker.
Dude, that's what happens when you have like 10 family members come down and visit you. They give you an overstock of everything.
Do they pack a bag? Do they come empty-handed?
I told you,
mean,
Uncle P slept on the.
Do they come with nothing?
Dude, Uncle P
Don't
helped
bring a travel bag.
I told you, Uncle P came in here, slept on the couch. We bought a 75-inch TV, and we went to BJ's, and you know we stocked everything.
This feels like taking advantage of your family.
No, dude.
I think it's the other way around. They come empty-handed. They don't even pack a bag.
Do you come?
Mike's got clothes. He's got
you guys are
toothbrushes.
going to make fun of me again for the whole Riz, fake Italian, Sicilian. But if you come from a Sicilian family, you know that like, dude, your family's going to come down here and do stuff for you. At least that's.
I'm watching.
That's how every single person in my family is.
It's not that. I'm just curious. They don't need a toothbrush when you could have a couple of emergencies, but like, do you hand them out to every person that visits?
Not every person that visits, but like, hey, did you bring one? I got extra. It's that.
All right. Fair enough.
You should bring them to work too.
My family came into work.
No, you should bring toothbrushes.
I thought you said your family members. They came in once. They came in last week.
And we need a fresh pair of socks. I got you.
We need a segue here. Let's do a little 5 at 5, Christian.
Number 1.
Well, the Green Bay Packers sent in a formal proposal to ban the tush push, the famous Eagles short yardage play from the NFL. Is it the right move to ban the tush push?
Stupid. I see the point. If player safety, if Mike Tannenbaum is very in on the making investigations into the actual player health data, if there's something there, then we could reconsider, similar to the hip drop tackle. But to my knowledge, they looked at this, the tush push and the hip drop tackle at the same time. and came to a conclusion that the hip drop tackle has injury problems and the tush push doesn't. So now all of a sudden it changes because the Eagles win. I don't have a problem with that.
I think this is really soft. I kind of pressed Mike Tannenbaum on, are people getting, like, how many times have we seen a tush push? How many people
Well, they're
going to
check the data. We'd have to check. You never know.
I mean, we watch a lot of football, guys. I think if we check the data, we're going to be all right. So clearly shooting from the hip here. I think it's soft. I think that the teams need to learn to stop it. If it was so unstoppable, other teams would be running it.
Number two.
Chiefs general manager Brett Veach announced that he expects a fired-up Travis Kelce to play again next year for the final year of his contract. Is this the last hurrah for Travis Kelce?
You got to expect that, right? You got to assume that this is final year of his contract, coming off a loss in the Super Bowl. I mean, not getting any younger. Probably played one of his poorer postseason games, which is not saying much because the bar is so high with him. I got to assume this is probably going to be his last hurrah, especially if he was considering retirement last year. But you never know. That guy loves to play. If they keep winning, it's sometimes hard to say no to the money, to no to the opportunity, no to the spotlight. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, I think it's his last go-around. I think that the Chiefs, anytime you have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, you're going to be competing for a Super Bowl. And I think he wants to go one more go at it. I think he had a conversation with the front office and probably Andy Reid and Patrick himself and said, let's try to go after this thing one more time. I love that he's coming back. Huge fan of Travis Kelce.
Number three.
Check this out. The Bengals are prepared to make Jamar Chase the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. That's Director of Personnel for the Bengals, Duke Tobin, telling reporters today that mark was set by Jamar Chase, who got a 4-year, $130 million contract in June. Is it the right move for the Bengals to go all in on Burrow's number one target?
No, if there's one person that is deserving of a contract like that, deserving is the right word. I don't think a wide receiver deserves that type of money. But in terms of how good he is, him and Justin Jefferson are by far the two best players at that position, the two best offensive skill players in the NFL. What are you going to do? Say no? He's not going to. He's not going to accept anything less than the highest paid contract. You almost have to do it. So, because of that, reluctantly maybe is not the right word, but you don't love the amount of money you're dishing out, but he deserves it.
It's the wide receiver position has kind of turned into the running back position of the early 2000s, where you got to have a good one. And I think at this point with the Bengals, you want to keep Joe Burrow happy too. Now, he's not going anywhere. He's got a giant contract making a lot of money. But you want to make sure that the face of your franchise is happy. This guy just won the Triple Crown. In my opinion, I think he elevated himself to the best receiver in the league, with all due respect to Justin Jefferson and other great receivers out there. You got to pay him. I don't think you pay T. Higgins. You have to have a real conversation if you're going to bring Hendrickson back. And if you don't bring back Hendrickson, the edge rusher, I mean, what are we doing here? So there's other places this team needs to get better at. There's a lot of question marks on that defense. I think they probably need to add offensive line as well. I still think the Bengals could be a really good team next year if they play their cards right.
Number four.
Last night, the Timberwolves stormed back down 25 points to beat the 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder in overtime. Are we going to see history repeat itself with the Timberwolves and mount a run like they did last year?
So here's fascinating about this game. Ever since yesterday's game, NBA teams leading by 24 plus in the fourth quarter have won 1,552 straight games. Until last night when the T-Wolves came back against the Thunder, and they did that against the top team in the West. The way I looked at that, I was tuning. I watched first 3 quarters of that game before it really got good, unfortunately. But the way I look at it is I could see the T-Wolves start to put something together. They got a lot of young talent on that bench. They got a lot of guys. They're a deep team. I don't like the move with Anthony Towns. I think that threw a wrench in the mix with them. But Edwards is a monster, and he's a good postseason player. Proved himself that last year. And one thing to me too, I'm down on Gilgeous-Alexander.
Oh, come on.
This guy he plays like it reminds me of Joel Embiid, but he's 6'5". The fouls, the free throws, it's such a crucial part of his game. Luka's the same way. It's almost an unpleasant style of basketball to watch. He's great in the mid-range, and he plays with such good pace. But he leads the NBA in free throws. He's second in the league in attempts per game behind Embiid, who's only played 15 games. he relies, and him and Giannis too, and Giannis goes downhill every play. It's impossible to stop him as a physical specimen. Even the last play of the game, if you watch the last play of the game, he tries to get a hoist up a three, and he's looking for a foul. Dude, you don't need to, I don't like this. I don't like that style of play. I just don't. And he's plays with pace. He's calm. He's collected. He's playing great on a great team. I don't know. I can't deal with the foul things. I'm down on him. I don't know if I'll trust that in the postseason because the fouls and the officiating gets tighter.
LeBron lived at the free throw line too.
Not as much. This guy leads the NBA in free throws by like 70 free throws
for a lot of years. LeBron did as well.
I don't think he did.
Come on, man. He lived at the line.
500 free throws, Mike, and the next one is like 420. I think it's more like Dwayne Wade than anything.
I don't agree with the Joel Embiid thing. I'll listen to you on fishing for fouls, but I think every great player does that. I think Kobe Bryant did that. I think LeBron did that.
It's a part of the game, but it's such a crucial part of his production. It's almost not fun to watch. Luka's the same way. Luka is the same way. The amount of complaining to the officials and edging for a call every 5 seconds. It's like almost you can't trust him to get a basket without the help of the official.
I like Shea. I think he's the MVP this year. I think that he's on the best team in the league as well, and I like them to go deep in the playoffs. I'm not sure I'm there with the T-Wolves. I want to see them string together a really good stretch here. I think anytime you have Ant, a player of his caliber, on your team, you could go on a run.
But I think they got a great coach. Chris Finch is
Chris Finch is good, but Colin hit the nail on the head. I don't trust that team in the postseason without another player with Anthony Edwards.
No, I
really don't.
I'm okay with that team. I don't trust Oklahoma City in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm on the opposite spectrum. I don't trust the T-Wolves without Cat. I really think that Sam Presti has built a great roster there in Oklahoma City, and I think Gilgeous-Alexander is really elevating himself to one of the best in the league. I think he does win the MVP. Colin, to your point, maybe Jokic deserves it. He probably deserves it over any player year in and year out, similar to LeBron and even Kobe on the back half, but I think Shea will probably win it this year. I love the block by Ant, though, Colin, late in that game on Gilgeous-Alexander. So late in the game, I think it was one of the final plays of the game.
It was the last play.
Yeah, Gilgeous-Alexander goes to the hoop to try to,
3 seconds or 13 seconds.
And Ant, who was a non-factor basically all game, swatted the hell out of him. That's a competitor. That's the when Stephen A. Smith says, I want Anthony Edwards to be the face of the league, that's the kind of stuff that I want to see. It was a really fun game in the NBA last night, and I'm looking forward to the Mavericks and the Lakers tonight and hoping that could follow in suit.
9 free throws a game for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. The one that's Giannis is 10, Shea is 9, and then it goes all the way down to Trae Young and Anthony Davis in the low 7s.
Come on, man! It's like we're splitting
What do you mean?
hairs.
Come on, we don't like guys.
Hairs.
Hold on, it was a problem with Embiid. It's a problem with him. We brought it up yesterday. How is it a problem with Embiid? It's not a problem with him.
I don't think he fishes nearly in how.
The guy was on the free throw line in the All-Star game.
I feel like listen. I feel like Embiid did it in such a, I don't want to say weird fashion, but an ugly fashion.
Because he's bigger.
Shea has a beautiful game, man. He's got handles. He could get to the hoop at will. He finishes at the rim.
There's so much free throws. He relies so much on the free throws.
32, 6, and 5. This kid's a star.
I understand. I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying he leads the league in free throws statistically, which he does. And you're acting like it's not.
But I don't think it's like a problem. I don't think it's a Joel Embiid problem.
Joel Embiid he's not leading the league in free throws.
He doesn't play.
But my point being, if it's such a problem with Embiid, then how is it not a problem with Gilgeous-Alexander?
Because he's going to the hoop.
What was Embiid doing?
But let me rephrase. He's the point guard. He's not the biggest. Embiid's 7 feet.
But then every point guard in the league should be having the free throws that he does.
Embiid's fishing for
fouls.
Watch
him play in the games. He does this. He searches for fouls. He plays with it. He slows down. He tries to get the body into it. I understand it's part of basketball, but he does it more than everybody else. It is such a major point of his offensive game.
I don't think it's as desperate as Joel Embiid, but I understand the point.
What do you have? 17 free throws yesterday? That is unethical. It's an unethical amount of free throws.
Dude, how many times has LeBron and Kobe and the other guys done that?
LeBron doesn't get calls. LeBron does not get calls.
Not anymore.
He never did. LeBron does not get calls. He gets every call in the book. Doncic gets every call in the book because they complain non-stop. And I understand. Jordan complained. Kobe complained. If you're great, you're allowed to complain. But to a certain point, if it's such an aspect of your game and it's such a crucial point, to me, it's just... He shot 17 free throws yesterday. The rest of the team shot 10.
Now, I didn't want to go here, LeBron James is, it's a lot of games, Colin, obviously, but he's 4th all-time on free throws. James Harden, 9th all-time on free throws.
He's played more minutes than is this per game? Is this per game?
Harden,
is this per game?
This is all-time.
This is total. I can't listen to totals. Nobody cares about the total.
Hang on.
If it's per game, I listen.
You're acting like this guy's James Harden, though, too. And Harden's 9th all-times in free throws attempted.
And
he does not fish like James Harden.
He has more free throws than Harden this year.
But he doesn't fish like James Harden did in the
but
past.
He's getting fouled every play, but Harden isn't. So which is it? How can we say that?
He's not, but it's not to the point. I don't think Gilgeous-Alexander is fishing for fouls to the point of James Harden and maybe Joel Embiid. But I think he's going to the hoop and getting the call more often than not. I don't think he's fishing for a foul. I think he's trying to make a play and he's getting met at the rim and getting contact.
I don't think you watch enough Thunder games to make that declaration.
I don't know, Colin. I watch a lot of the truthfully, I do watch a lot.
End of January, he had 21 free throws in a game. He had 18 free throws in a game. He had 17 free throws in a game. He had 16 here, 11 there. It's a lot of free throws. Is he getting fouled every play? They cannot stop him? They cannot stay in front of him? Or is it a facet of his game? He turned it into a piece of his offense, like Harden did, like Doncic did. LeBron tried. He's too big. He didn't get the calls. Joel Embiid turned it into a piece of his game. We're allowed to say that. It's just, to me, it's not that entertaining of a brand of basketball. To me, as an individual player, that was just my takeaway. It's just, this guy's at the line a whole lot. And he's a good player, and he does everything. And he's calm, and he's efficient, and he's collected. But to me, if that is such an important aspect of your game, it's not the most pleasing aspect of basketball to watch. That's the way I'll close it.
You shouldn't respect them.
Huh?
Like, you lose respect as a basketball player.
I mean, if it's such a... That's why I think about Harden. Harden, it's such an important piece of his game. Harden's a great player. Harden is a top 3 or 4 shooting guard in the history of basketball. But to me, if you're a foul guy and you're shooting so many free throws per game, and Jordan did too, but if that is such an important aspect of your game, I don't know. It's just not fun for me to watch. It's not as impressive. There it is. It's not as impressive. That was our 5 at 5. We roll on here. We got to close out the program a little bit next. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
ESPN West Palm is highlighting the best performance of the week, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Every week, a different team will be featured across ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. The winning performance receives $500, courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Do you know a team, player, or school with a killer performance? Nominate them by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
This spring, speed returns to South Florida. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Go get it done. Green. Where high octane meets the high banks. And gear up for spring break in the fast lane. 3 races, 3 days, one unforgettable weekend in racing paradise. NASCAR weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. March 21st through the 23rd. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com, pbhnphysiciangroup.com, to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
Introducing the bold, the powerful, the all-new 2025 Range Rover Sport P360 SE. A luxury SUV that commands attention with its refined design, dynamic performance, and cutting-edge technology. Lease the 2025 Range Rover Sport for just $12.99 per month for 36 months. Drive in style, power, and comfort, all for just $12.99 a month. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take the new Range Rover Sport for a spin. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Closing out the program here on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3, the 25th of February. Live from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Christian Cat with you. Apparently, Mel Kiper's mock draft, Christian, was a bit concerning to you, huh?
Mock draft 2.0, saw it last night.
So you're a mock draft guy with Mel Kiper.
I wasn't until today.
I am. I mean, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. That's the Bible. That's religion. Mel Kiper's, draft order. Christian, a lot of things surprise me. I don't want to steal your thunder here.
No, this is why you play 17 games of football for the mock draft.
To look at Mel Kiper's mock draft, that is a miserable life of a Brown fan. But you and I see eye to eye on a lot of these things.
Yeah, so a couple of headlines that I saw just in the first 7 picks are pretty crazy. We talked about them earlier today on Theoretically Speaking. But here's what Mel Kiper sees happening as of today in the NFL draft before the combine takes place. Kiper has Abdul Carter, edge rusher from Penn State, going number 1 overall to the Titans.
People are really high on him.
It's a little crazy.
He's a late riser.
He's a great football player, but
top 5 pick, no doubt.
Not a quarterback and not an alien like Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
And then you have Miami's quarterback, Cam Ward, going number 2 to the Browns. You have two-star Heisman winner Travis Hunter going 3 to the Giants. You have the Heisman runner-up Ashton Jeanty, the running back from Boise State, going 6 overall to the Raiders. And finally, Shedeur Sanders gets picked, falling to 7 to the Jets. Those were the crazy, at least headline-making selections I saw.
If a Tom Brady relatively led football team who won Super Bowls with the likes of James White, LeGarrette Blount, and go down the list, if we are under the impression that Tom Brady is going to go with Ashton Jeanty, their first pick in the draft, their first overall pick at 4th or 5th overall, whatever it is, and trading up for it, that's 4th pick, so that means they're trading up.
Correct.
Come on. That's why I can't take the mock drafts too seriously this time of the year, because they just do it for clicks. At this point in the season, they just do it for the attention and engagement because there's no stakes. Their mock draft 2 is not as important as mock draft 7, a week before the draft.
The craziest thing to me was the Titans not taking a quarterback or Travis Hunter, followed by Shedeur Sanders dropping all the way to 7. Guys, we know this is the NFL draft. These are the top 2 prospects. They're not slipping.
The 2 quarterbacks?
They're the top 2 prospects because of position. They're the top 2 prospects because they're quarterbacks. They're not slipping past 3, mate.
I'm not totally against the idea that they're going to drop because teams are not that high on them because, they're not as highly touted as previous quarterback classes.
What I'm saying is someone's going to trade. If there are rumors that the Titans or the Browns...
Yeah, quarterback's so sought after that they're going to get picked just because of positional need.
Someone's going to trade up and someone is going to take those quarterbacks. Those were the crazy things to me. And I agree with Mel. I think the Browns do take a quarterback. And if I had to guess, Andrew Berry's horrible at drafting. I don't know how he has a job. That's a whole nother conversation. But Cam Ward is probably the type of quarterback he would take if he would be available. I still think Tennessee is going to take him. I do. I think Tennessee is going to take Cam Ward.
Are you under the impression the same impression, Christian? First 2 picks, 2 quarterbacks?
Desperate.
Yeah, I feel like we do this every single year, and sometimes it's more extreme than others. Last year was a fantastic quarterback draft. So many prospects, and really a lot of them hit if we're just using one season as a sample size.
Mostly all of them. The jury's still out on J.J. McCarthy, but other than that, all the first-rounders.
So we're going to see these quarterbacks float up to the top as we always do. And this year, there just happens to be only 2 real strong prospects. So, yeah, they're going to float to the top. Maybe not top 2. I think I would put money on top 3 guaranteed for 2 quarterbacks off the board.
We haven't even gotten to the point where the combine quarterback comes. There's always a combine quarterback that comes out of nowhere, too, that gets overtaken.
Quinn Ewers, your time to shine, my friend.
He's probably the late riser.
But
him or Dart?
Does he doesn't, like the combine riser I'm talking about is someone like Anthony Richardson. You know what I mean? Just a freak of nature. Like Quinn Ewers isn't a freak of nature like that, but I see the point. Maybe Quinn throws well, or maybe he does some weird thing that they do at the combine well. I'm thinking nonetheless like a Jalen Milroe.
So
I still think Jalen Milroe might get overdrafted.
So the measurables is what you're looking at. So where you can say he runs this fast, he can bench this much.
He jumps this high.
Okay.
Like someone who's just an absolute freak athlete that gets over, that gets taken high. I don't know. I still think it could be a Jalen Milroe.
Off this draft stuff, though, it's hard for Mel Kiper for any reason. These guys haven't even ran the 40 yet. And we're already determining what teams like or what they don't like. I don't even know if he's in Indianapolis. Those are the guys who know what's going on. You got to be at the combine. And, for me, just a bizarre. That's what they do. They do this every year. There are some crazy jumps in February because it's a low-stakes mock draft. Let's go make some headlines. That's why we're talking about it. So I don't know. Mel Kiper, do I take his word as gospel? Maybe the quarterbacks drop. Maybe they don't. But I think off positional need only. And the fact that there are so many quarterback-desperate teams like Mike alluded to, I think that's the only reason why they would overreach if there is an option.
We see it every draft. A team's going to hear that, Cleveland doesn't want this guy too. They're willing to trade back. All right, let's trade up. Let's give him a first-round pick. Let's secure our franchise quarterback. We're set for the next 10 years. That's the thought process for all of these teams that are quarterback hungry and want to trade up. I could see the Giants being one of those teams. I could see the Raiders being one of those teams. And I could certainly see both teams standing pat and taking quarterbacks with the Browns and the Titans. Colin, I think we talked about this a little bit like a month ago or something about Callahan. There's a lot of pressure on that guy to have a successful year. All right, they had a horrible year this year.
With the Titans.
Yeah, sorry, Coach Callahan with the Titans.
The way I look at it, though, is they don't have a roster that suits anyone to succeed, and especially with the quarterback position. So, he have to nail a quarterback, but isn't that they need a quarterback?
Isn't that something you want to figure out? Head coach and quarterback, right? I mean,
right.
You want to,
but the point is, he didn't have a quarterback at all last year.
But my point is,
Rudolph.
Correct. My point is, he wants to get his guy in there. Will Levis wasn't his guy. Mason Rudolph was a Band-Aid. He wants to get his guy in there, and he's got the number one pick.
And what if he goes to the general managers and said, my guy's not in this draft?
Then he takes a chance on...
Then they use that number one overall pick and try to trade down and then go get a free agent quarterback as a bridge. That's what you do.
At the same time, you know how some of these organizations are. If you have another bad year, that's year 2 of stinking. And then all of a sudden, all that pressure in the world in year 3 is on, and you passed up on this guy, and he's having a good year.
Then they pull the Texans. They could pull the Texans. They don't necessarily need to get a quarterback, but they could trade down, accumulate assets, let somebody else give you a ton of commodities to go get their guy and what they think, and then you could almost push to next year.
The reason I bring this up, the Bears passed on C.J. Stroud, and I think Bryce Young too. Did they have the number one pick 2 years in a row? There was
the Bears one I'm talking about.
Kyle, there was a lot of pressure on Poles when C.J. Stroud started playing well. You want to know what bailed out was that Panther pick, because the Panthers are so god-awful. They had the number one pick, and he was able to select Caleb Williams and save his skin. If you pass up on one of these quarterbacks and they turn out really good, there's pressure there. Because, hey, we could have this guy. We still stink. What's going on?
Well, that's why you could pull the Bears. They could defer.
But at the same time, the Bears, the only reason they were able to fix it was because they had the number one pick from the Panthers. Their pick wasn't the number one pick.
They had the number one pick, but they traded with the Panthers. The Panthers traded into that. That's why they had it.
Correct, but at the same time...
That's actually the position that the Titans are in.
At the same time, you got really lucky that the Panthers sucked. If the Panthers didn't stink, you don't have the number one pick, and you're not able to go get the best quarterback available, in your eyes.
There's a luck factor to it, but there's also a quarterback-heavy draft class next year, and if you're trading up with a team that's in the top 10, they're likely not that good.
I just think the pressure is on Tennessee to figure out that quarterback position, and that Callahan guy, he's an offensive guy. I think they go quarterback there. That's my best guess. And if they don't go quarterback, I think it'd be crazy to not select Travis Hunter, even though I'm not the biggest Travis Hunter guy.
If they're not getting a quarterback, I would figure they trade out. They trade out. Go get assets. Because somebody else is going to want that number one overall pick. You're making that pick, it's going to be a quarterback. You're right. But if you're not going to make
is Hunter quarterback there, so Hunter's not an exception?
No. You just gave us this whole spiel about how they got to figure out the quarterback, but they should draft a cornerback wide receiver instead.
That's my opinion. But all of the
what does matter what it matters what you think. If they're going to draft a quarterback, then stay at number one. But if they're not going to draft a quarterback, I would say get out. There's somebody else that'll probably overpay for your spot. That's exactly what the Bears did. That's the way I look at it.
The most important position is the quarterback. You figure that out, you could build out around it. Now, you obviously don't want him getting sacked every play, a la Peyton Manning in his rookie year and a lot of rookies that have struggled because of bad offensive lines. You can even throw Caleb Williams.
Stroud, Young, Caleb Williams. I think there's more players than there are not in that position.
Stroud was a rare case where he was able to kind of play above it that first year. But I
he wasn't immune to it.
Yeah, I hear you. I just think I think it reeks, and I think they're a little embarrassed they got rid of Vrabel too. I think that obviously time ran its course there, according to all reports. But you got rid of Vrabel and you brought this guy in, and you were really bad.
Here's the way I look at it: if you're not that confident quarterbacks there, then I wouldn't put that back on that. If a team wants to overpay for that first overall pick in the draft, and you're able to accumulate a top 10 pick and then multiple first round picks down the line, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's deferring. You'd have to have some organizational stability. You'd have to play safe with that. But if you're not confident that this guy is going to take you to the promised land, you get one go at this. If you're not confident in Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, I would get out. I wouldn't blame him for it if that's what they think. If they think that's their guy, great, go for it. There's your option. But if it's not, shift onward and look to next year, because if it's me, the only reason you're making that move is because you're buying into the process of next year as well. I think you'd be safe in that sense. That was Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat with you on ESPN 106.3. We're closing out the program today. If you missed any of it, want to listen back, go to Russo and Rizzo on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Later on in the week, we're at the COG. I know, theoretically speaking, is at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium tomorrow. So a packed week of remotes. Stick around for it. It will be a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 4 to 6 on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.